joining us for Real Talk with Arlette. This show is about bringing a diverse group of ladies together to exchange ideas and share their experience on topics that relate to women. So, what exactly is self-care? Well, in a nutshell, it's basically taking care of yourself, either preserving or improving one's own health. So, do you practice self-care? Well, my guest today will share with you how they manage to practice self-care while also managing work and life. So, let's have some real talk. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Kelli and Joslyn, welcome back to the show. Tell me, how is it that you guys work full-time? Kelli, for you, you have a business. Joslyn, you are a mother and a wife. How do you guys manage to get self-care in while juggling everything else that's going on?
It's challenging for sure.
Yeah.
You're drained. You really have to pause because otherwise you're not able to do anything consciously. You're spent emotionally, physically, and mentally. Some days it's, for me, even though if I work from home, it's like working all day laboring and I've never really left the house, right? So it's dialing back, carving that maybe 15, 20 minutes, and if you can get more time than that, just to pause for yourself and relax. Because if you don't, what you find is that you're raging against the machine.
Right.
You're short fused, you're screaming,
Right.
your 8-year-old's being 8, but you feel like they should be 25 and you're not doing right. So it's really taking that pause and carving that time out. And be it if I just meditate or if I just watch mindless TV. I'm good to watch reality TV because I'm never left on a cliffhanger. So I'll carve that time out.
Right.
And it's very, very mindless, so I'm not waiting for the next episode. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a walk. Hey, let's grab the bikes. You get on your bike and I'll walk. And it's just carving that time out to just be one. And one of the things my mentor taught me recently was get out of the office, because I'm quick to work through and say I need to hurry up and finish this, but it's carving out that mental space because he was like, you got to take care of yourself. And if you get outside of the office, you've paused, you've breathed, and you've changed your environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I find I actually have to schedule time for myself.
That's what I was going to share as well.
Yeah, if I leave it up to myself, I have to-do lists. My to-do lists are stupid. I mean, I will write a to-do list that's 2 pages long and somehow miraculously imagine that I'm going to be able to get all of it done in one day.
Yeah.
And this goes with self-care too. I'll say things to myself like, oh, I do need to take a walk. I do need to meal plan so I'm not eating junk all the time or just quick stuff that I can pull out of the fridge. But if I don't actually schedule a time and force myself to sit down and do it and make it pleasant for myself to do, then I find that I get on that hamster wheel. It's just constantly going. So one of the things that I've started doing is I have a planner that I use every single day.
Okay.
And there are a million of them out there, but you pick one that you like, and I liked ones that I could put stickers in because I'm apparently I am an 8-year-old on the inside, and it sparkles, and I have a nice little candle that smells nice that I got at the grocery store, and I'll get up in the morning a little bit early. I'll make some tea or some coffee for myself. I'll light my little candle and I write out what I want to focus on during the day.
Okay.
And it helps me not to get into that hamster wheel feeling of just get up and go and first thing looking at your phone and checking email first thing in the morning. Stop doing that. Stop looking at social media so much.
So you put yourself first
You have to, because if you can't fill somebody else's cup if your own pitcher's empty. And I think that's what a lot of us end up doing. We take on this emotional burden of trying to do everything for everybody else.
Oh, for sure.
We feel guilty if we ask somebody to help us. And making out that list of things to do and saying, okay, I can delegate this to somebody else.
There you go.
And I'll let them learn how to do this skill or, practice this or own this. And that helps a lot. Yeah. The other thing that I have had to do really for self-care for myself is carving out time to do something that I really love that does get me out of my regular routines. So I am a belly dancer. I teach belly dance on the weekends, and that has given me something completely different to do. It's physical movement, it's fun music, it's a very celebratory type of dance, so it's usually very happy. And there's a whole community of women that I dance with that it gives me such a great opportunity to breathe and have that space that I think if I left it up to myself to do, I would never do it. I have to have, like, on Tuesdays you go here to do this at 7 o'clock.
So you're very regimented then.
I have to be about certain things because otherwise I'm just a big mess if I don't.
And I struggle with that. If I write it down on a list and I don't get to do that, it's almost like writing things to do at work, and I don't get to do that, it freaks me out. And so I don't feel a sense of accomplishment. Right. So I try to stay away from the list for that reason. But I get that some people need that. I can have a mental list. I just can't have the physical.
Yeah, I forget if I have the if I have the mental list. I feel like the mental list is in itself its own burden to have to try to remember. Right. So I have to write stuff down, but I will tell you what I do sometimes. I can't believe I'm telling you this. I will sometimes write stuff down that I've already done.
Oh, so
that I can mark it off and go, look what I did today. Ta-da. Because sometimes we do stuff and we don't give ourselves credit for doing things.
Sure. But that's why I make the list, though. It makes me feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Now, my husband would always tell me, you try to do too much at one time.
Right.
So I've started prioritizing. So I still make my list, because like you, I like to check it off.
Okay. And I'm an accountant, so it's always in my head anyway.
Oh, well, that's your brain works that way. Mine doesn't work that way.
You still have a young brain. There's no way. All of the things that I try to do in a day, there's no way I could keep it all in here. Yeah. It'll never get done. Yeah. So I have to write it down. But I love checking it off now. I don't cheat like you, Kelly.
It's not a cheat. It's just giving myself credit for what I have
done
already.
If you started it at 8 o'clock in the morning and it wasn't on your list yet, then you did it in that day.
You did it. See? Check.
So
check.
maybe I need to try that.
And sometimes it's things just like laugh at one thing.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, I mean,
that's cute.
Super simple little stuff, but sometimes that we need the reminders of, you know.
That's right.
Do something nice for yourself today.
Right.
You know?
Pause. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is when I get off work, I don't want to look at a computer. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I don't know how people have time to get on social media, but I need y'all to be on social media for this. But I don't know how they have time. There's so many people that they're just on social media all day long while they're at work and chronicling their lives, and they prioritize that.
You just said, I do not want to.
I do not want to. I don't want to talk. I don't want to. So how do y'all have energy to exercise and go meet your friends and do a belly dance? And I just want to come home, get in the shower, and just lay on the sofa and just watch mindless TV.
Here's the problem. Here, and this is why I have to schedule my life like I do, because if I come home and put on my comfy pants and sit down on the couch, I am not getting back up. It's done.
Yeah.
And I will sit there and watch, you know, forensic shows on television. That's my thing. I love like forensic shows, right? And so I will watch, like, you know, murder mystery shows non-stop on television.
Yep.
And maybe so. But it's if I go home and I sit down, it's over. If I go home and I say to myself, I'm going to spend 15 minutes doing a few things that I need to do before I sit down, I will actually get some stuff done and I feel okay. But I will fully admit, I hate going to the gym. I realized last night I have 2 gym memberships. I hate going to the gym because it's boring. They do. I'm just paying for nothing. But I love dancing, and I think that's really one of those key things about self-care is you have to find what moves you mentally and spiritually and emotionally. Like meditating, I can't. I try. I cannot meditate. Like I have like 3 meditation apps on my phone, and I try to do it, but it's something for me that I've not prioritized enough to make it work for me yet. And so for me, I have to find the thing that doesn't feel like work to be the piece of self-care that I do.
Right.
Meditation to me feels like work.
Okay.
Going to the gym feels like work.
For sure.
Going to dance, you put on jingly things and you put on music and you're laughing with your friends. It's a party. It's not, it doesn't feel stressful.
Right.
Right.
So that's that. I don't want to do things that I don't
Right.
find exciting.
And for me, it's about clearing my head, right? Because
Okay.
I have so many different people pulling at me
Right.
during the course of a day, be it
Yes.
from the home standpoint or be it from work. I am accountable for somebody, or I have to tell somebody what to do
Right.
in every step of the way. You need to do this, you need to do that. I'm constantly making decisions. So when my phone rings and it's my mother and she's like, so should I? I'm like, make a decision. I
Yeah.
make decisions
Yeah.
all day. I can't give you that.
Yeah.
So it's clearing my head for me because I know that if I'm not in that good space, then I am no good to anybody. So that's the reason that I have to meditate, because it clears for me. It allows
Wow.
me to recenter myself. And after I'm finished, it's something that I feel holistically better once I get out.
Right.
It may be
Right.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, I am one with self. I'm at peace.
There you
I've
go.
purged everything. Now, hey, what do you want for dinner? Or do you guys want to go out to dinner?
Right.
Or let's do this. Or I'm able to do that. Like the other day, I meditated. Jay wanted to learn the little dance that they're doing to Beyonce's new song.
Okay.
I pushed the furniture out the way, turned it on YouTube, and was like,
No, you didn't.
let's go, girl. Let's
That's
learn
what I'm
this.
talking
Let's
about.
learn this. But I was able to give that to her because
Right.
I had
Yeah.
stopped. And I was
Yeah.
like, this would be fun as opposed to me sitting here purging. And that self-care has to involve her as well.
Absolutely.
So I have to carve out that time
Yeah.
for her because she's looking at me, wanting me to participate in her life. And if
Right.
I'm no good, I can't participate.
That's right. It's all about balancing that, the mind, the body, the soul.
Yes, for sure.
It's all a part
Yeah.
of self-care. And I am just getting to the point where I have realized that.
Right.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Don't judge me. I did learn this early, so young girls out there, hold on. The crock pot
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
was my friend.
It's a
So,
lifesaver.
ladies, if you're trying to figure out if you work a full-time job, and a full-time job is not 40 hours in a week anymore.
Right.
It's 50
50,
plus
60.
hours.
Oh, it is.
And most women are juggling a lot. Like you said, Jocelyn, you're constantly making decisions. People are always pulling at you. I'm constantly talking to people. And on the computer. That's why I don't want to talk when I get home, and I don't want to be on the computer when I get
Right,
home.
for sure.
And Kelly, in your line of work, you're the same way. You're constantly talking,
Yep.
constantly presenting, and you know, on the phone and on the computer. But for me, I had to realize, because I'm also a control freak,
I am too.
and I feel like I have to have my hands in everything. But I just couldn't do it. So I had a girlfriend, and she said, you know, Arlette, you need to get you a crock pot. I said, a crock pot? That's for old people. I don't know what. Yes, I did. I don't know why I thought that. So she said, I tell you what, go get you a crock pot. And I have some recipes I'm going to share with you. And y'all, it changed my life.
They're amazing.
Oh, it will.
Because my family, I spoiled them. I cooked every single day.
Me too.
We didn't believe in leftovers. I cooked every single day. We had, you know,
Wow.
a home cooked meal every day.
Wow.
So I said, how the heck am I going to do that working those hours? And at the time, we lived in a major city, and I had to drive to work. So I was on the road at least 2 hours a day, provided there were no accidents.
Right.
So I said, you know, I'm going to get me a crock pot. And I put that, I seasoned my meat the night before, put my little vegetables in there, and before I left for work, turned it on, put it on low, and baby, when I came home, it smelled good. I felt good because the meat was done. All I had to do was maybe put a pot of rice on,
Yeah.
and we were good to go.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
It
Oh, yeah.
changed my life.
Ours is called Davy Crockpot.
Hey, whatever it's called.
Like Davy Crockett.
Oh.
We named him Davy Crockpot.
Oh,
so
you na-
so Davy,
wow.
Davy cooks dinner for us sometimes.
That's
He
what I'm
does.
talking about.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've mastered that and 30-minute meals. So I have
Okay.
a 30-minute meal in my head. I come
Okay.
in, I'm getting it done, and we go from there.
Wow.
We started cooking, like chicken or whatever, the protein. We'll cook enough for a couple of days.
Okay.
And then add different things to it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have different meals
Yeah.
throughout the week, and it makes life easier too,
It
because
does.
we're both.
Otherwise, you're scrambling, and again, there's
Scrambling.
another
Yeah.
pressure, right?
Yeah.
And so that's taking care of yourself too by prepping something. Sometimes I'll even go as far as cooking meals on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'll cook like 3
Yeah.
different things on Sunday, and then you eat what you want. If you want pork chops, you want this, then hey, you guys have what you need. Have at it.
That's right.
And then I go like watch mindless TV.
You know what else is one of the greatest things ever
What
that I
else?
really think that a lot of people, if they tried this, they would love it, is where you can order, and a lot of grocery stores do this now, where you order your groceries online.
Oh, I love
Right.
to do
And you
that.
just drive up and pick them up and leave. It does cost a little bit more at the grocery
It
store
does.
where I shop. It's a
It's
little
so
bit
worth
more.
it, though.
But I save so much money doing that because I don't
Yep.
go in and go, I need cereal. I need chocolate. I need this.
Right.
And just get this cart full of impulse purchases.
Yes.
And it gives back. Last time I was at the grocery store, I was there for an hour and a half.
It
Wow.
saves time.
You know,
no,
it saves so
I've
much
mastered
time.
that
I
in
love
30
it.
minutes too. I don't have patience for the grocery store.
I don't either.
I don't,
I
because
do
people
not
meandering,
either.
standing in the aisle, and I need to give that time back to myself, because then again, self-care in that time that I have
Right.
saved. So either I'm ordering them or I've mastered that 30 minutes,
Yeah.
because
Right.
otherwise, again, I'm tarried and I'm frustrated with
Yeah.
the sheer amount of people.
Yeah. I'll sometimes put on music in the grocery store.
I've done
And
that.
I'll
yeah.
headphones
Are
in.
you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I'll
whisked through
dance.
there so
I'll
quick, I
literally
hate
dance
it.
to the grocery store. I will dance to
Wow.
the grocery store.
I love
Wow.
it.
Just because, like, if you see little 4-year-olds doing it, and I'm like, they're having fun. Okay, I might as well make this fun too.
You're such a free spirit.
If I have to do it, I might as well make it enjoyable for myself.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
plus, if
Yeah.
it's faster music, you speed through the store faster.
Exactly. You can, but it's definitely getting the job done.
Right.
I'm not mad about it, but yes,
Wow.
definitely self-care. And then, the other thing that sometimes pulls at you is being able to spend time with friends or, significant others, so on and so forth. And the difficulty in that is that may be part of the time that you scheduled for yourself, right? And now somebody wants to take that time from you.
Yeah.
So it's twofold, I think.
Yeah.
For me, it's giving myself permission at times to say no,
Right.
that I'm unavailable, or that I can't fit this in. Or it is being able to say, this is still self-care,
Right.
because you are spending time fellowshipping with
Yeah.
people that you love and care about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so it's difficult sometimes, because you're thinking, I'm not getting my time, and I'm not
Right.
able to decompress, or you feel obligated, but you have to take that obligation out of it. Is there a benefit to me where I feel good after I'm done with this? If it's obligatory, I say don't do it, and I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I push
Yeah.
back, no,
Yeah, if you feel more drained after too,
for sure.
that's another time. It's time to cut
It's
some
not
ties.
worth it.
I mean,
There you go.
you really just have to start cutting ties. Or, we had a conversation in our house recently about the need for my husband and I to have separate hobbies. And he has his hobbies. He does martial arts,
Okay.
and so we are a dual career, dual hobby household. And we finally sat down the other day and said, what nights are you going to be gone? What nights am I going to be gone? And he's a very loving person. He always wants to spend time with me, which is awesome.
But you need.
But
your
sometimes
time
I need my time to
yourself.
myself.
Right.
I need more time to myself than he needs time to himself. We've
Right.
realized. And so we had to have a conversation about that, and he said, I want you to do the things that bring you joy. I don't want
Right.
for me to be the person that's just sucking the life out of you all the time. So you go have fun with your friends. Go to your dance classes, do your thing. And I will go to my martial arts classes and I will do my thing. And if we ever have a feeling that we are not there for each other in the way that we need to be, then we'll talk about it. But it is finding that balance and saying no to things and saying, I need to be by myself for a little while. I need to be by myself.
Right.
Right.
And having the the gumption to say it.
Right,
You
because
know.
oftentimes you don't, and you feel guilty,
Yeah.
right? You're
And
like,
there,
well, this
there you
person.
go with that guilt again.
It is,
Yeah.
and you have to learn. I did that, especially when I traveled a lot more for work, and I can remember being at a client site, and I actually was at a client site for a former employee, and
Okay.
or employer, and I met and had lunch with one of my old colleagues, and we were talking about guilt and parenting from a place of guilt, right?
Yes.
Or loving from a place of guilt. And me being on the road, if I was on the road for 6 weeks and I'm home only on the weekends, then I'm trying to fit everything in that she wants.
Right.
Or if he needs something, then I'm trying to be Johnny on the spot. And it was just a lot. And he was like, you have to stop parenting from a place of guilt.
Right.
This is your occupation. This is what you do. This is how you do it.
Right.
So if you have time, but I would find myself trying to get her to a play date over here and trying to have so-and-so spend the
my
night.
goodness.
And then still having to work and trying to fit my work in and trying to prep for the next week while I'll be out so that they have food and they have her snacks ready and her lunch ready. And I just became,
That's a
I was
lot.
not at my best self. And I was
Right.
like, this is entirely too much and I want to be able to give to you, but I have to dial back.
Right.
Because otherwise I can't manage myself.
Jocelyn, that was me too when my kids were little. Trying to do it all, be everywhere, be everything for everyone. You know, as I said, I'm just getting to the place where, you know, I'm taking time to take that bubble bath.
Right.
That's my time. Taking time to just go shop because I not particularly like to shop for clothes, but I love to shop for my house.
Right.
But taking that time without feeling guilty. But it took me till my kids were older. I mean, they're adults now, and I'm just now saying, you know, I need to put me first.
So I think there's pressure and it's subliminal, right?
Yeah.
Because people are just talking about always the best mom or
Right.
the best wife or the best
But you
know,
can't be the
partner.
best if you're not your best.
But who set the bar,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember my mother asking me that one day. She said, "You keep going after this best mom thing.
Mhm.
Who set the bar? Who created this bar?
Right.
Be the best version of you. And if you feel like you're falling short of you, then you need to make some changes. But this
right.
worldly view that's been created, that's not your view. That's the world's view.
Right.
And you have to step back and pull back from that. And that sometimes is really difficult because you look at other people and you're like, oh, well, they have this and they have that. And how do they have time? And a lot of my friends now are bringing in help. So they have people who would pick their
Right.
kids up and take them to whatever activity they have after school. They have people who come in the morning so they can get to work a little bit earlier and so
Right.
forth. And luckily I have a lot of flexibility, so I don't really need that. Basically being in the field that I am, I can dial back and kind of make my own hours in some
Right.
ways. And so that works out very well for me because then I even am able to sometimes come back and have a moment to just breathe and then go.
Right.
But that can be very challenging, and so you have to really maneuver. So if that's your mental list or your physical list, either way you have to get one so that
Yeah.
you can kind of get what's going on in your day together in your life.
And now for those ladies that can't afford a nanny,
Right.
that help, you know, that
For sure.
nanny that, what's the other word, the French word?
The au pair.
Au pair.
Au pair.
Okay.
So for those ladies that can't afford
learned
that help,
Okay.
they're friends. They, I've talked to a lot of ladies, and they partner with their friends.
Oh, for sure.
And they say, you know, I'll keep the kids tomorrow if you keep my kids on Friday. And they partner together. So, you know, that's just one thing. But we need to wrap this up. But I do want you ladies to share with the women that are watching today. How did you get to this place of being able to manage all that? What do you attribute that success and being able to manage that?
Complete and utter burnout.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say exhaustion. But yes,
Exhaustion.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just hitting the bottom one day and just going, I hate my life. I hate
Wow.
everything about it. I don't like myself. I don't like the person I've become. I have become this little, you know, bucket of everybody else's obligations and
Yes.
expectations, and I am tired. I am tired
Yeah.
of it.
Yes.
And the power of being able to say no, to your point, it is the most wonderful word.
Wow.
And
So
it's one of those
refreshing.
words,
Yeah.
like, once you start saying no and you start understanding that people will treat you how you let them treat you,
Oh, for sure.
and that as soon as you start saying no, all of the ladies who are organizing the friends to help,
Yeah.
tell Dad that he can do that too.
Go ahead,
And push
Kelli.
it
That's
back.
that's a real
Push
talk.
it back.
Sure, yes.
Push it back, because the more
sure.
you can push back, the more space you can give yourself, the more you can breathe,
Right.
and the more other people around you are going to be able to grow for themselves too.
Because people will let you do it if you're gonna
Oh, yeah.
do it,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
If you continue to show up and do
Yeah.
my work, then I'm gonna let you do it and
Oh,
sit
yeah.
back and be easy. But I would definitely say yes to that, Kelli. Reaching a point where I burn out and then I just didn't have anything else to give, and I realized that this wasn't the best version of myself. And you hear that more and more now.
Right.
You know, living my best life
Right.
or being the best version of
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Right.
And so it's definitely key to your success for your life, because hopefully I have more days ahead of me than I do behind me.
That's right.
But how do I want that story to end, and what do I want it to look like? And it's definitely setting the pace for that. And if I don't carve out time for myself, I'll
Yeah.
never make it
Yeah.
to that best version of me.
And the best version of you, which
Yeah.
I think is such a really important
Yes.
thing. That's I've had to start limiting my time on social media because of that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just tired of looking at everybody else's highlight reels,
Right.
and all I see is my own blooper reel. You know what I mean? So I'm like, maybe I need to just, because this is that beautiful painted picture, and it is.
Right.
It's setting those expectations, even if we know this is photoshopped, or you know, it
sure.
still
Right.
feeds that into our heads.
Yeah.
And
It
so, what
does.
is it that brings us individually? What does it bring that brings us joy? That brings us peace? It's
Exactly.
different for everybody, and it can be a fun experiment to
Wow.
figure that out. You know,
It can.
Well, it's a shame that both of you ladies said it took you to where you were just spent.
Yeah.
You were burnt
Uh-huh.
out to get to the place where you are today. Well, thank you so much for sharing
You're
your
so
stories.
welcome.
Absolutely, thank
I
you.
know that you ladies have inspired me, so I know that you have touched some lives today. And it is my hope that someone out there is inspired and empowered by your stories. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
And for you ladies that are joining us out there, thank you so much for joining us. If there are any topics that you would like us to cover on the show, or better yet, if you live in the Houston, Texas area and would like to be a guest on our show, please feel free to visit us at realtalkwitharlette.com and click Let's Talk. Until next time, I encourage you to be faithful, be fearless, but most importantly, just be yourself.